So without further ado, that's enough of me for the time being. If I can call to the stage Dr. Jumelle Brooks. She is our first guest speaker. She is our first vice chair. She is new to this politics stuff, but boy, you wouldn't know it by the way she talks and walks and acts. She knows her stuff, and she's been doing a lot of things, so I bring to the stage Jumelle. Big round of applause for Jumelle.
I am Jumelle Brooks. As Bill stated, I am new to this, but one of the things I am true to is community service. I have been an advocate for the people forever. So this is just a new component to that advocate part that's so important to me. So there are a couple things that we're going to talk about, and we're going to first start by telling you about a program that I just finished. It is Emerge SC. This is one of the branches of it, and Emerge's main mission is to train, recruit, educate, support women who plan to run for office. So if you don't have a clue about what it means to hold a seat, this is a great program for you. What you learn about inside of this program is that you learn the keys to fundraising. Most people think fundraising is the worst thing ever. Upon completion of the program, it makes a little more sense how it works. There's a strategy to it, and to understand it just makes you a better candidate. Let me start my watch. I'm a stickler for time. So that's one of the things that we did. Now, on this Emerge journey, what we were able to do was meet with different representatives, senators, different political figures, and ask questions and learn about the do's, the don'ts, the recommendations. We learned about issues that were about to hit the horizon. We learned about the issues that were on the floors of the House and the Senate. Consider Emerge, and the reason why I'm saying consider Emerge as the program to train. There's several programs out there, and I'm not speaking against any program. Let's just make sure we're clear on that. Emerge for South Carolina covers South Carolina. One of the most important components of that program, besides the educational component, was the ability to network. What I have now is a broad network across the state of South Carolina that allows me access to resources that include people. You can't replace that. The relationships that you can build is amazing. So just consider Emerge. You can look that up. You can Google that. It's Emerge SC. When you decide that this is a program that you're interested in, you don't necessarily have to run for office. There were individuals that went along in this class with me who just wanted to know more about campaigning. There were individuals who wanted to be campaign managers. There were individuals who had run for office and lost, but wanted to run again. And before they ran again, they wanted to make sure they had the exposure necessary. So this is a way to gain a lot of insight about the process and the procedures necessary in order for you to be successful. And I'm going to say this, and then I want to move on. One of the things that was valuable, a couple things, but one that they encouraged us to do is to run and not to be afraid of losing. The reason we don't have candidates most times is because they're afraid of taking that L. They don't want to lose. But you can win a race and not get the seat. You can win a race and not get the seat. You can win a race by giving exposure. You can win a race by draining the campaign funds of your opponent, right? So you may not have the seat, but you can still run. And I think we have to get acclimated and get more comfortable with being able to take that opposition, take the fear of losing or rejection off the table so that we can open up South Carolina and get some candidates that truly represent the people. But I won't jump on that bandwagon just yet. Today, I've just talked about the benefits of Emerge, and I'm more than welcome. You guys can ask questions about it, and I can go in more depth. But I want to talk about the necessity of the Democrats having a consistent message for all people. What you're running into, or what we've run into, is that there is a message, but the message changes depending on who you're speaking to. And whenever a message is fluid and it continues to change, you lose support. And so what we have to decide, and we can't do it by ourselves, that's all of us that's in this room. We're going to have to come together with other community organizations and brainstorm, what does that message look like? What can we say when we show up? We'll talk about that. We'll talk about it. But just keep that in mind. All. We just said with liberty and justice for who? All. Right? Our message needs to be one that permeates and goes and covers all, not just one. We're going to talk about voter engagement. That's a biggie for me, as well as let's fill the seats. And when I say fill the seats, what I need us to do is take people from the ballot to the actual seat. And we can do that, but we got to get them on the ballot first. That's another one of our challenges we'll talk about. Oh, that's just me. Hold on, Chelsea, I know you're ready. Okay, so here's where we're going to, let's talk about our message for all. What is our message? And anyone can answer that as long as it's loud enough so everyone can hear it. What do you feel the message of the Democratic Party? And let's specifically focus on Greenwood. I just need 2 or 3. Bless you.
Hold on.
Oh, here's our microphone.
That's right.
What do you think? What is the message? And it doesn't have to be politically correct. I just want you to tell me, when you think about what the Democratic Party represents, what is the message that we are conveying to Democrats? I know, right? Oh, okay, great.
This was not a trick question.
It's not. You know it. You think it. You live it every day.
That we are trying to meet the needs of all the people in our neighborhoods, that we need their support. We need them to be out voting. We need representation in all areas of our community.
Thank you. Meet the needs of all.
I agree with you, Doris. Making lives better for all.
Thank you.
Finding a platform, a way to get through to those who always tell you, my vote's not going to matter, to find something that we can hang those persons on, because it's always going to be the same. My vote's not going to matter. So we have to find something that show them practical things that for their life, that this is going to affect your life. Watch this, look at this. We've got to show them practical things that show that it really matters, their vote really matters.
Bill, get that microphone, because I think she's reading my notes. Yes, that's perfect. That's it. That is wonderful. We do, as Democrats, want to make the lives better for all. But the only way we can do that is if we develop a message that does show that that's what we're doing. And relevancy is the thing that we sometimes miss. What I wrote down, and this one is going to be harsh. I remember growing up, and I started going to vote with my grandma, my grandpa, my parents. That's how I started. That was a ritual for us. We talk about who to vote for, and then voting day came up, we'd get up and get dressed and head up to vote. And I couldn't wait for my sticker. I'm still kind of partial to my sticker. I want my sticker almost before I vote. I want it on. But one of the things I wrote is your younger generation is a generation who disconnected from the power of their vote. And that is why you get, my vote doesn't matter. The reason they don't know that their vote matters is because they don't understand the direct correlation to voting and not voting. That's our job as seasoned voters. That's our job, to make sure that we can show them that by not casting your vote, this is specifically what happens to you. This is the impact that could happen to you. It is also our jobs to show that once you vote, here are the things that you have voted for, and this is what it has led to. The younger generations are more of a rapid fire or rapid result. Immediate impacts. You see it, they gain, right? They can instantly get to the songs they want on the radio. They never have to wait for it to play and for it to come on. They don't have to wait for season 5 to come on. Why? Because they can just go to Netflix and skip through every season. I do that. And get to everything I need. I don't have to wait. So what we have to do as a party is to develop some type of strategy in which we can show that this is what your vote does, and this is how it impacts you immediately. We can't be reactive in this, we have to be proactive. And that's a community effort. And I say this to Bill a lot, and I say this to other community individuals. When you have 5 or 6 or 7 different community organizations, all working for the same thing, but all working independently, we're not using our resources effectively. There may be only 60 active Democrats, but in another organization that meets on another day, there may be 35. Why don't the 60 and the 35 figure out the strategy and work together to accomplish what the people need, right? That's about talking. And I'm so glad that Bill does a really good job of opening up and making sure that he's present in different places so that we can figure out ways to help the people. One of the thoughts that I don't want to leave here and not say, and I say this with respect, please know that when you are recruiting not just the younger generation, I think I was quite amazed at how many, I would say, educated individuals who chose not to vote in this previous election. So I need you to understand that it's not just the younger generation who feel that their vote doesn't count. It's generations that are right behind them that are now not seeing the correlation. So I would have to say, one of the things that when you're talking to them, don't say to them, hey, your vote matters because someone died for you to have that right. That's true. But they are so far removed from it, they don't know a person who died for that vote. They don't. So what else is going to make them vote? What else is going to make them show up? Those are things that we've got to cover. Voter engagement, I want to leave that part because my time's running out. Voter engagement comes from having a consistent message. So what I'm trying to do is show you there's a correlation. If you have a message, and a message that bleeds consistency, that bleeds community, that bleeds love and support for all, what is passionate to you as the speaker of the message becomes passionate to the people that's following you. Voter engagement, the issue there is no one seems to understand the importance of having that voter registration card. How many of you attended a graduation recently, high school graduation? Y'all see them in the paper? You saw how many kids were graduating from high school, young adults? How many of them are registered voters? Most likely. That was an opportunity. That was an opportunity. It was an opportunity to do a nonpartisan move and not say we're registering voters for Democrats or we're registering voters for Republicans. We're registering voters. Now we've just had this massive group of young adults exit the high school system. Now you have to figure out a plan to reach each one of those individuals when you had a plan. We had a plan, right? So we have to make having a voter registration card just as important as it is to have your driver's license. If you have a concealed weapon permit, you need to be just that important. I bet you don't leave home without that insurance card, right? We need to do things that will help people increase the value. My suggestions, if you are a business owner, you need to have a day at your business where you give discounts to people who show their voter registration card. Try it. Try it. If I know, I'm going to use chicken and waffles because I like that. My husband loves your place as well. But I'm going to try it. I'm going to say if I know that today is the day that I can get 5% off if I show my voter registration card, I'm going on that day. If you are a shopper and you go to I have to take my mom to Hambrick's, they have a set day. She shops religiously on that day. Business owners should do the same thing. Figure out a way to increase the importance of the voter registration card so that once I get registered, I don't lose the importance of that card. You can do that in a number of ways. You can do the guest talks, which, you've got to reach out to that population. But I think you got to give them something in order for that card to move up in its order of importance. Remember, this is a tangible group of individuals you're working with, not just the younger adults period. Want to see something for what they've given. Give them a discount. I'm almost done, Bill. I'm sorry. And then I'm going to go to let's fill the seats. I can spend all day on these, but I'm on a short time span. Let's fill the seats. Look at your bulletin. Open it up. You see the nice flyer for Juneteenth. That's cool. Flip the page. What do you see there? It says election 2024. Each one of those seats are up for grabs. What we cannot continue to do is allow elections to happen and candidates are running unopposed. Remember, your vote matters. But if you don't have someone to vote for, what is that vote doing for you? Right? So what you want to do, and I think what we're going to leave here today with, and I'm going to end, is this is your action. I give homework. I'm a teacher. I give homework or classwork. What we need for you to do is, Bill gave you an extra, thank you, Bill. You gave me an extra sheet of paper. That yellow form you got on the back is blank. It's blank. What I suggest you do, yeah, that's it. What I suggest you do is, for each of these seats, or for any seat, what I want you to do is to start a list of recommendations. And I need those recommendations to not come with limitations. Don't say, well, I'm not going to recommend Jumelle because she's busy enough. Let Jumelle figure it out for herself if she wants to take that seat. Don't exclude her before you give her the opportunity to reject it. Okay? We need a list from you all. We have what we have. We have resources. But it's really important for you to have some say in some of your candidates, and it makes it work easier for us to do work. The only way we can fill the ballot is if we have great selections of candidates to put on that ballot. Now, what we just don't want to just put anybody. You all come faithfully every month. Who are your suggestions to fill some of these seats? And allow us to do our part and have those conversations with them. Another thing I need for you to do is to recommend without a but. I would recommend her, but that's another form of a limitation and it's not necessary. Allow the candidate to work, or the potential candidate to work themselves out of a seat. Sometimes we miss great people because of the limitations that we have put on them or the buts that we put in the sentence and we never recommend them. Allow them the opportunity to say no. We have to create an environment that supports candidates being able to work while they're running. A lot of candidates or potential candidates that I've spoken to, they didn't want to run because they didn't want to quit their job. They don't know if they have to quit their job unless they have a conversation. So let's get some potential candidates to the table, have a conversation with Bill and the rest of the committee, and then we can determine if that's a fit for them. Your action item, we appreciate you coming, and I'm so glad that I found this and I'm a part of this, but we need you. We need you. We need you to give us suggestions, and we need you to encourage other individuals to run. We can't do, as Senator Floyd mentioned, flip South Carolina if there's no names on the ballot to flip it. Yeah. And it's going to be uncomfortable, but we're here to support. That's one of the things that we'll definitely do for you. So I'm not going to harp on the 2024 election, even though I could. However, I tell you that you need to now start looking at candidates to make some good selections. But I don't want you to take the eyes off of every vacant or potential vacant seat that we have and let you know that it is with dire urgency that you put someone on the ballot for that particular seat. I almost want to say that's your civic duty. Put a name on that paper and give that to us, or work with it. It's your action item. You yourself should continue to work on the message of the Democratic Party for the people. Continue to work on things that we should do to reward individuals who have proof of registration. Another thing that's important, you can even host at your business or at your community facility an event that helps with updating contact information for the voter registration office. You can do that. You can make sure that they have a current card and they're within the right district. so that when they come time for 2024, we're not trying to rush up to the voter registration office and work out the administrative errors that we could have fixed a long time ago. Those are just a couple of action items. And then when we get back together in July, you guys should bring your homework so that we can make sure we're preparing ourselves for 2024. Okay, questions?
Yeah, thank you, Jumelle. Stay right there. But thank you. Round of applause. That was amazing. You know what she said about names on the ballot, I think I've brought this up a couple of times, but I hope you are aware that last year, over 60% of the House seats in South Carolina were unopposed. Over 60%. Now, fortunately, here in Greenwood, both seats had options. You know, the wrong options were chosen in both cases, in my opinion, but at least there were options. 60% of the voters in this state did not have options, and that is criminal. So we want to make sure that up and down that ballot for every seat that there is at least an option. Maybe it's you, maybe it's somebody you volunteer to do this, but we definitely want to get it filled in. Second thing, you mentioned about 5% discount if you show your voter registration card. I would also recommend making it 10% if you're a Democrat. Right? Right, that's what we really want to encourage.
It could work.
It could work.
Yeah.
All right, any questions for Jumelle?
Bill, are all these,
Hey, Bishop.
all these seats partisan? Are they partisan elections for all these? I know the mayor's not partisan, but
No, I think you have a mixture there.
okay.
You have a mixture there.
Yeah, school board, town, city council, mayor, or nonpartisan. All the other seats are, like coroner, sheriff, for some reason is partisan as well. But school, town council, no.
Yes. And don't lose sight, and we have this conversation internally all the time. The presidential election is monumental, but your local elections matter.
Oh, yeah.
They touch you. They're closest to you. So we come out in droves for a presidential election. You should be coming out in droves for the election of the individuals that you will pass in the street. You're going to see them at Publix.
Thank you, Jumelle.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.